Good day. I'm recording this on August 14th, 2024, and that means two things. This whole weekend has been bombarding my feeds with excellent photography of not only a Perseid meteor shower, but a Perseid meteor shower happening during the Aurora Borealis. And that's really cool. It's super cool. I'm glad I got to do that for work. But it is also time for the Darkness News Update, which is sponsored by LUNA, a company that is committed to responsible outdoor light at night at multiple levels. This can be through single lamps. This can be through multiple fixtures. I encourage you to go to evluma.com and check out their dark sky friendly lighting page. There is something that makes sense for you. There is something that makes sense for your campus, for your neighborhood, for your town. They are great devices. I am so glad that they are sponsoring this series. But let's get into the headlines, the sources, and my commentary. And we're going to start with the U.S. General Services Administration. This is probably the most boring division of the U.S. federal government. They manage facilities. Federally owned properties across the country related to federal government offices and administrative buildings. And as part of the newest version of their P100 facilities standard, which tends to fold in a bunch of other standards, like from the International Wildlife Association's guidelines on wildlife spaces and well standards and bespoke work with the UL and PNNL, just general. It is a big document. It's a big document that comprises and incorporates other big documents about managing buildings. But among what they have endorsed is that the Design Lighting Consortium's LUNA guidelines for exterior lighting, which means that not quite 10,000 buildings run by the federal government will be endorsing responsible outdoor light at night. The practices, the fixtures, they'll be going into parks buildings and DOT buildings and just buildings all around the country that will demonstrate that the principles we espouse here, we all agree to, we all think are good, are viable and sensible and secure. There will be FBI buildings that have the level of lighting that we want, and they'll work and they'll be secure. And that'll be cool. The next thing is that Dark Sky International has launched a new Action Fund. This is a new fundraising effort to encourage advocacy, education, and conservation efforts, specifically in a more active, engaged way with outside communities, as opposed to the usual DSI model of looking for people who are already on their side and just partnering up with them. We have a new study from the Chinese Academy of Sciences that shows that light at night is making leaves too dense for bugs to eat, actually. This study is kind of restricted to green ash and Japanese pagoda trees in and around Beijing, where there's a lot of light at night, actually, but it's showing that these two trees, the leaves, are becoming resistant to herbivores at this point, either because the light is feeding them at night or they need to be denser to react to light at night. More details as we get more details. We have a report showing that LED lighting does result in greater reported glare. This is a test of a series of monocolored LEDs showing that as the light gets more energetic, which is to say more blue, respondents are reporting that they are more discomfited and more disabled by the lighting itself. Circadian alignment has been linked with cognitive function in people as they age. This is coming out of the Light and Health Research Center at the Icahn School of Medicine at Mount Sinai. This is linking sleep length and sleep quality with cognitive assessments in older adults. We've also found that stroke, just experiencing a stroke, does cause circadian disruption. That once you have one, you will be offset just how you sleep, how well you sleep, when you sleep, and there's more study needed to follow that up. This is a very small group. We have circadian scheduling of treatment found to improve the results of people who have lung cancer. Changes in these rhythms can be used to track risks. Also, that's another thing about it, is that risks of stage 1 going to stage 2 does also coincide with changes in circadian rhythm, and that's really cool. We have a study showing that meal timing is in fact linked with sleep quality, which is to say that if you eat later in the day, you will sleep less well. Related, shift work has once again been linked with increases in body mass index, red cell count, and blood sugar levels. This is actually a 10-year cohort study from Iran that shows that working at night does mess with your metabolism. Fortunately, if you're not on night shift, your lunchtime does not have a measurable effect on your nap time if you're an adult. That is to say that if you are in the habit of having a nap after you eat midday, whether you eat an hour or 2 before that nap, that doesn't really change the quality of sleep there. This is a study from the Department of Psychology at Queen's University in Kingston, Ontario. While we're also talking about sleep, we have a new study from Spain showing that warm milk does work. It works better than warm water, and it gets even better if you start spiking your warm milk with tryptophan, the thing in Turkey that makes you sleepy, or ashwagandha. Ashwagandha is an Indian shrub. It's kind of popular among Ayurvedic yogis. You might hear it from them, but this is the thing, is that warm milk is helpful, and that you can spike your warm milk with things that aren't booze to help you get to sleep or to sleep better. That's cool. Leaving behind Earth, let's talk about space. DARPA. DARPA stands for Defense Advanced Research Projects Agency. This is a civilian group attached to the DOE kind of a bit. I don't know the details. It's also a bit weird, but what they do is they take money from the federal government and they filter it into any number of fields that might end up being useful for defense agencies. But the important thing is that they have a plan to build a streetlight on the moon. That's right. They are giving Honeybee Robotics, which is owned by Bezos through Blue Origin, to build a 330-foot pole to which there will be affixed lighting, and that will be the first lights available to a moon base. Maybe. I mean, again, we don't have a confirmed moon base, and we don't have a confirmed pole, but it's just a weird thing. I thought that was weird. While we're in space, let's talk about the Long March 6A satellite, the most recent launch of which was meant to add a number of objects to provide communications and GPS information to people on the ground out of low orbit. But what it also did was add 50 pieces of debris to the 800-kilometer above surface level range of the Earth. This is something that every other satellite group, every observatory, every space shuttle is going to have to deal with now. The next generation of SpaceX Starlink satellites will be as much as 2.4 times brighter than the current generation. This is a new estimate out of not only outside observers at the FAA, but within Starlink itself, saying that as much as they have tried to add non-reflective coating to these satellites, that the next round, the 7,500 low orbit objects that Dark Sky International sued the FCC to not get launched. Remember that? Like a week ago. Those objects will be brighter. They will be brighter. Coming back down to Earth, Google searches for circadian rhythms and how to reset them have spiked by 5,000% in the UK. This is a study from psychologists. Well, not really a study, but an observation from psychologists in the UK showing that more and more people are concerned with their circadian health and what they can do about it. In Italy, the town of Murano, this is up north on the north side, the city hall has added a light level sensor to their roof. This is because they are situated near the Alto Adige Observatory. This will begin a 2-year observation program that might help to limit or change how light is used in the region, and that would help the observatory. Eiweiler, Germany is the 8th DSI recognized place in Germany. So Eiweiler is in southwest Germany, furthest south and west in terms of recognition in Germany from Dark Sky International, but it's also near the Peterburg Observatory. So they're doing this to support their work. They're using not only timers, but also motion sensors in their public lighting. We're going to jump back to Hawaii for an ongoing story that I think we've been following, which is to say that the Grand Wailea Hotel in Honolulu has agreed to reduce brightness on their campus. All of their exterior lighting will be dimmed, and they will also be funding conservation efforts. There was a lawsuit between a couple of local advocacy groups for the petrel. They are advocating on behalf of the Hawaiian petrel, which is a seabird that has been known to not do so well with external lighting on the hotel grounds. But the settlement says that the hotel will change their lighting, and they will also be making monthly donations to conservation efforts for this seabird, which is great because Hawaii is actually home to more endangered species than anywhere else, actually. In Massachusetts, a pair of near-identical bills that would have required state-managed lighting to comply with the 5 rules of responsible outdoor light at night, they both got stalled at the Senate level. The Committee for Ways and Means and Spending kind of just said, this is too much. We can't do this without outside support. And both those bills that one came from the legislature, one came from the Senate side, but they have both failed. In Illinois, however, a darkness-related bill from Laura Ellman, friend of the show, has actually passed. From here forward, any spending on any state spending on lighting will actually have to comply to the 5 rules that we know of for responsible outdoor light at night, as confirmed by the IES. So we will see that as we go ahead, new projects will be better. In Fairview, Texas, we have seen a denial of a proposed Latter-day Saints temple. Let's see if you know this dance. The LDS has said, well, we have one standard design. We just scale it to the needs of the community that we believe. But the design does require a big parking lot with a lot of lighting, a very tall steeple, and a lot of exterior lighting. And that exterior lighting has to be on all the time. And Fairview, Texas has said, no, you can't have that. They have also said that they can resubmit with reasonable changes. We'll see how that goes. In New York, the town of Great Neck, the village of Great Neck, home to 10,000 people, home to the basis of all those guys who were very wealthy in the Great Gatsby, has been pushing back on the possibility of connected LED street lighting in the town, including the New York Civil Liberties Union joining in that pushback. There are provoked a number of debates from a number of angles, but LED street lighting may or may not come to the region. We'll see how that goes. I will be following this closely. In North Dakota, the town of Minot has been debating light trespass. The city has put up a bunch of ornamental lights, and this is only in the downtown. Unfortunately, people who actually live there have been complaining about it. We'll see if some controls come into play down the line. In Utah, the town of Moab has blocked a cell phone tower. This would have been the tallest thing in the area, actually, but this would have been near Bears Ears National Monument. It's been scrapped for the time being for being too tall and too bright and too everything. Hopefully, maybe they can come to a compromise. We'll see how that goes. Lastly, the town of Truckee, California has named the winners of their astrophotography contest. There were 20 prizes given out, some of them in cash, and this is actually part of an awareness campaign for their rebate program. So not only do we have amateur and professional photographers being recognized for just great astrophotography, which we love. I like it. I dig it. But it is there to remind everyone that any private residence, every private business can ask for funds for retrofits for their exterior lighting that comply with, reasonable restrictions on uplight and glare, as well as brightness, as well as color. And that's cool. I like the idea of cool pictures and reminding everyone that you can have better exterior lighting. But until next time, I have been Scott Wachter. I want to thank you for your time, your attention. If you want to thank me for offering this to you, please do leave a review. Please do share with a friend. Please do share this on the social channels. But otherwise, Evluma sponsored this. Dig them. You should dig them. As well as Nailed, as well as TED Magazine, as well as the Light and Darkness Foundation. They all support us. They all support what we do. But until next time, take care of yourself. See ya.